Employment is part of social inclusion for people with a disability. The first thing that someone asks you when you go to a barbecue is, what do you do for a job? So if somebody who has a disability doesn't have a job, they naturally feel isolated. Those people deserve the same opportunities as anybody else in the community. And it's not about charity, it's about they have something significant to contribute to your business.
Be really careful not to put people with disabilities into a box. Renee will or won't be able to do that, I'm sure. That's a really dangerous position to be in. If I can draw upon my own experience, when I first started at Vision Australia as the tertiary education consultant, quite often in the back of my mind I think, that person can't cope with that course, I'm sure they can't. And they jolly well would pass the course and do really well and go on to employment, and I would think, lucky I didn't put them in that box, lucky I didn't communicate my bigotry to them, because sometimes if the bar is raised quite high, people meet that challenge.
Now, I can tell you of a number of students I know of who are very, very highly successful in their studies, are very, very good with their use of computers and their programs, etc. And that shows that they can do that to finish their studies, that they can be employed.
Make sure that they explore a range of different employment options for that person, and it could be in fields that are related to a person's interest area. It doesn't necessarily have to be job A. It could be that you have to look at jobs that are closely related to that and think about what small modifications could be made to that job to make that job an accessible option for that client.
So if I find a person with a disability who says they want to do something, and some people will say, well, whatever it is, you can't do that because of your disability. My first instinct is to say, no, they've got an interest. Take that interest on board, even if they can't get to that final goal of being an astronaut or whatever it is, or a surgeon or whatever. There are steps along the way that shows that they're interested in that area, and there's other work they can do around it, and they can have a very satisfying life.
Vision Australia has an employment service, and we certainly believe that anybody can be able to pursue any sort of career option that they wish. Obviously there's some limitations like being a bus driver, but we're certainly happy to even try and solve that one, but it's more of a difficult one. Work experience enables an employer to engage with somebody with a disability in an employment setting, to trial them, to have no significant obligations, but also provide real experience for those job seekers.
That way the employer can see that the job seeker is capable of turning up on time, fitting in with the team, using the computer with their adaptive technology as fast as someone with full vision alongside of them. And that really breaks down a lot of those barriers, and that has proved quite successful.
What we find often is where people are placed in work experience, the employer finds such value in that worker that they keep them on where they can.
We've found that once people understand the needs and the capabilities of people who are blind and have low vision, that they're much more prepared to give a go.
Often people with a disability haven't had the same access to career counselling and career development. Sometimes they haven't had access to those part-time jobs that a lot of people have in their youth, like working at a fast food chain or collecting trolleys or whatever it is. And those job experiences are invaluable for your ultimate career.
We know that the attitude of employers is one of the big barriers for people with disabilities gaining employment.
I think a lot of employers are initially hesitant because they don't understand blindness or low vision, and they don't understand disability generally. They can also feel that there's going to be extra work for them, extra cost for them, and I think some of it comes out of ignorance rather than making a fully informed decision. So it's often that people just need an opportunity to show their ability rather than everybody concentrating on the disability. A lot of people with disability have led full and active and productive work life, and they, because of their disability, may need to actually change what they do. And so we need to be able to support them with services, support and equipment to actually make those choices, to be able to change what they do for work and life. Some people may not want to actually change what they do for a job when they come to a disability later in life. So we need to be able to support those people to be able to continue to work in their workplace.
It definitely comes back to helping people. That is the biggest motivator for me and the biggest thing that drives my passion for disability services and I guess the health industry.
People with a disability are better direct care workers and support people and advocates for people with disabilities than those that aren't.
Someone with a disability, if they were to work with clients who have a disability, there would certainly be a fantastic relationship that would be established there.
I am legally blind myself, so being able to work in the community sector and work with other people who are legally blind and see them achieve was just so rewarding that I guess when the opportunity arose that I could apply for full-time work in this community sector, that I jumped at it.